Hi, everyone. I'm James Garbutt.
And I'm Denny Dumas.
And this is the Garbutt Dumas Real Estate Podcast.
Okay, a couple of changes that have just recently happened.
Can I announce the form title name, Denny?
You may, yeah.
It's the Irrevocable Direction Regarding Presentation of Offers.
So this came in a couple weeks ago. In the real estate world, we did have a form called the Direction Regarding Presentation of Offers. That is something that a seller signs to say, hey, we're listing on Monday the 10th. We're not going to look at offers till Monday the 17th. That form could be discounted, could be revoked if the seller got a really strong bully offer in the first couple days on market and in writing told their real estate agent to work or adjust this form. Now, this obviously causes problems with realtors that have seen the DRPO posted on MLS and see that, okay, they're doing an open house on Saturday. They're not looking at offers till Monday. No stress. Me and my client will wait till Saturday, go to the open house, and potentially write an offer on Monday. There was a number of times where agents would not relay that they were dealing with a strong offer early in the listing, and then Saturday would come around, realtor number 2 and client would show up at the open house. There's a sign posted on the door saying, property sold, no open house today. That can be very frustrating for consumers, and it is extremely frustrating for realtors, the lack of communication there. So what the industry has done now is announce this new form.
Irrevocable Direction Regarding Presentation of Offers, which is replacing the Direction Regarding Presentation of Offers.
Correct.
So they've added irrevocable.
So essentially what it means is if a seller signs this saying we're not looking at offers till next Monday, you cannot adjust that. You cannot accept the offer early. Now, like anything in real estate, there's probably going to be ways around this.
Well, Denny, I want to first say I'm excited about this one. Mainly as like when you're excited to watch a new movie, not as excited to implement the actual form. But I thought the intent behind the old form, the DRPO, the Direction Regarding Presentation of Offers, I thought the intent behind that was great. There was, as you said, a lot of crushing moments for people when they'd say one thing and then they'd take an offer without notifying other interested parties, and people would be frustrated. And then they came up with the first form, and that was supposed to solve the issue. But then people would do things and revoke that form and take a good offer anyway if they got a really good offer. And the whole purpose of this, and I've read through the form and I've highlighted some of the key words here, is it is night and day irrevocable for the period that you sign it. And is now the time to go into that part? Because I just want to just highlight some of the language. It may not be altered. It may not be amended. So if you agree to not look at an offer date, if you listed tomorrow, say you listed on a Monday and you said, we're not going to look at offers until the following Monday. This is irrevocable to the point where if your realtor receives an offer that's $100,000 over your asking price on day 2 of being listed, that realtor is supposed to, from my understanding of this form, refrain from presenting it to the seller until after that date. So as you hire me to sell your home, I get you to sign this form because we think it's the right strategy. I have to inform you of the pros and cons of this. If we say we're not looking at offers till next Monday, we're going to give this 7 days of exposure before we look at offers. We can't backtrack on that no matter what anymore. Whereas before we could backtrack on it. You can revoke an offer, but you can't revoke an irrevocable direction on presenting offers. So that's a mouthful. So, the instructions on this form are the buyer's agents allowed to be present during the offer presentation, and offers must be presented without delay. So the assumption is if there's no form there, the buyer's agent can present the offer in person, and the offer would be presented without delay. Once this form is in place, you can say the buyer agent doesn't have to be there or shall not be there. And we will, if you send me an offer on Tuesday, I cannot share it with the sellers until next Monday. And there's instances where this will benefit you, and there's instances where this will hurt you. As a realtor, it would be very uncomfortable for me to get a really good, ridiculous bully offer that I cannot share with my client because of this form. I'm acting in the best interest of my client. By sharing it with them, I'd be teasing them, and I would be saying that you cannot respond to this offer. That's the movie I want to watch. And you know, the real estate board, like any managing broker of a brokerage and a real estate contract, they recognize that the bad scenarios of this form can be pretty bad. You can be arguably working against your client's best interests in scenarios where a really good offer, if a really good subject-free offer came in and you can't present it to them, you don't want to let them know because they're going to want to take it and you can't let them take it. That's why it says multiple times, seek independent legal advice. So on the form, so I like that because that's the way that we remove our liability. So the real estate board removes its liability and by seek independent legal advice, and the designated, it says here, the designated agent has informed the seller of the pros and cons and recommends them to seek independent legal advice. For anyone that sees seek independent legal advice, that is the phrase that says you can't sue me. As I said, seek independent legal advice. This form must be posted on the MLS. It's not to provide it's in any circumstance. I mean, the in short thing is when you sign this form, if you say we're not looking at offers for a period of time, you cannot backtrack on that. It is public information. And in theory, it is encouraging realtors to hide an offer from you because I don't know how to have that conversation with a client if I say, here's a great offer that you can't take till next Tuesday.
Does it say anything about when this form is to be signed? Because like the clear way around this is just to not sign it and see how the first few days go.
No, it doesn't say that. So yeah, you're right. There you go. Clear way around it. And I guess one thing to consider, if you don't sign this form, it is assumed that the buyer's agent can be present and the offers must be presented without delay. Just recognize that that doesn't always happen if you don't sign the form. Don't assume that the offer is going to get presented the moment it gets sent in. There are so many cases where it takes a day or two to get this, like out of town sellers, busy sellers, it takes a day or two to get their heads around it. And there are many instances where a seller just may not want anyone present there for the offer presentation. The form is to make it clear. I think the intent is good. I think the intent is to minimize the criminal or sketchy things that some realtors, a select few, have done in the past. So I like their intent, but boy, is there some circumstances where this form could bite you in the ass.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's the movie you want to watch. The movie that I want to watch is January 1st, 2023, when the cooling off period comes into play. So we are in a slow market right now. We've seen interest rates climb 3.75% in the last 6 months. A lot of listings are sitting on market, are not selling quickly. And now we have this cooling off period coming into play, January 1st, which says if an offer is subject free, the buyer has 3 days to back out without any liability for the contract, but they owe a 0.25% non-refundable deposit to the seller. So there are a number of ways around this. We haven't really been given all the details, so TBD on exactly what that's going to look like. But from my understanding, this is applicable on subject-free offers only. So what is stopping people that really want a property that are competing from writing a 2-hour subject to financing or things of that nature? But it is going to be interesting to see this roll out. Having the 0.25% deposit non-refundable, who's collecting that? How is that getting paid to the seller? Is that my responsibility to knock on the buyer's door that just backed out and be like, hey, where's your bag of money? It's going to be interesting. This is one of the strangest things.
Unknowns.
Yeah. It's one of the more stranger policy things that I've seen come into real estate in my career. And really, we don't have a lot of information, nor do we know exactly how this is going to look in January.
No, and I guess just to add to that, like when a seller and a buyer sign a contract, it's a firm and binding agreement. To me, regardless of this irrevocable direction on regarding presentation of offers, to me, if you broke that, you said, I'm not looking at offers till next Tuesday, but saying I could very well see agents sharing a bully offer early, regardless of the form. And if the seller says, I'm signing it, who's going to enforce the irrevocable direction on presenting offers form? I mean, I think there could be an absolute penalty for the realtor from the council perspective, we will see. That's the movie. There's a few movies here, Denny.
Yeah.
So good point. There's a lot of contractual legal practices that remain true. And the real estate board is trying to implement new things. I don't think it's necessarily driven by the board, but they're implementing things to make it bulletproof and dummy proof. And I don't know how that's going to go down. Yeah. So this may not affect a lot of you in winter, but it will when the market heats up again in spring, and especially in a multiple offer environment. That's when we're going to really see this movie come into action.
Which is not going to be next January, February, March. So great timing.
All right. That's it for this one. Thank you.